co-founder of Real Water, and I'm here because I love movies.
Now, how did you become one of the sponsors from the film festival? How did that come about for you?
Well, actually, one of my friends of 40 years who was helping us distribute the water throughout the United States had said, you know, we should be part of the film festival. You know, we go to the movies 50 times to 100 times a year. This is something we should support. And then, of course, I got hooked because I didn't realize that they had such wonderful talent that came to it. Even though I lived in this town, I wasn't aware like so many other people.
What is it about the Santa Barbara Film Festival that you like?
You know, I like that it's small, but yet I feel I'm part of something that would be like in New York City or in London. It's just so bigger than life, and yet it's convenient and easy to participate in.
Now, when you got into the, let's call it, can I call it the water purification system business, or would that be wrong?
That would be wrong. We're really in the bottled water business.
Okay. Talk about it. What is the correct way to pronounce that then?
Well, it would just be we're in the enhanced water segment of water drinking. We're at the highest end of the water drinking segment. It's a $1.8 billion business, and we are the leader in it.
Wow. Now, where did the idea come about? How did it come about for you in general?
My business partner, who's really the brains of all this and who does almost all the work actually, when he was a younger man in the dot-com era, helped take 3 companies public. And one of them was a product to clean the air of Mexico City. And eventually it went public in Norway. And what happened was that he reconnected with that scientist who said, I have this magical way to make water more effective that brings about radiant health. And they got together and they went into business twice.
Wow, interesting.
10 years later.
Wow. What is it about water? We all know water is good for us, but why is your water better? Why is it better than Fuji, sparkling water, and stuff like that?
Well, Fiji and all the other brands that are sold throughout the high-end market usually taste a little better. They might come in a clever bottle, but basically they're all the same. They're water that is saturated with free radicals. Our water does not have one free radical present in it. Therefore, it makes it where the cells have a higher degree of hydration, the flavor tastes different, and it has an effect. Once you start drinking real water, it's virtually impossible to enjoy other water.
So talk about how it is good for your body. What does it do for your skin? We all know it's good for your body and your skin, but why is yours better than everybody else's for your skin? Because of the ingredients you have in it.
Well, because our water has what they call a negative ion,
yes,
that allows the water to actually hydrate on a cellular level. Essentially, most waters are structurally so thick that the cells have a hard time penetrating. The water has a hard time penetrating. Our water is the opposite. So many people with many type of issues, that's the word I'm going to use, when they drink our water on a regular level, a lot of the body issues seem to dissipate or get much, much better.
And when you said it just like that, I can see how easily it might have been getting it into Whole Foods. Even though it's always hard to get it into everything. Why is it in Whole Foods? Why is it a match for that?
Well, with Whole Foods, they always want to have the best product. And in a very short time with zero budget, we became their #1 selling water besides their own brand 365 in less than a year in many of their stores.
Wow. So the goal for the water now is to go where? What's next for it, as far as the company goes, would you say?
Well, right now we're already in many countries, but we're going to be in at least 80 countries, we believe, in the next 4 or 5 years.
And I have a section on the site that's called Matters That Matter. And what it is, I always ask people, what is your favorite charity, if you have one, and why?
You know, Brent Jones, who's my partner, he's the one personally that handles the charities for our company. For mine, I personally have around 5 children that are not my own that I help. One of them is the valedictorian of his class, and we make sure he gets nice clothing. We make sure that he came to this film festival. We have other children in Boston, Sierra Mountains, just different places that we have taken an interest in that are not our own children, and that we're trying to make sure that their lives really work.
When you were a kid, what movie inspired you of your love of film, and why?
That would be so difficult because I've seen thousands and thousands of movies like most people. And
Mine, for example, is It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. I saw it when I was a little kid, and it made me want to meet Milton Berle. The second movie for me was Enter the Dragon. It made me because I became a Bruce Lee fan, and I wanted to study martial arts. So it's always something that hits you, sort of like a favorite song for people.
Right. You know what? There's just been so many. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved Easy Rider. You know, I mean, because it was about being free and probably rebellious and getting high, which is not good for us. But as a child, I didn't know any better, so I was like 13 or 14. I thought, these guys must be cool. But in reality, I wouldn't want to be them now. But I enjoyed that movie, and there's so many others. Even The Graduate, I remember seeing The Graduate. There was a movie I saw in New York City when I was 14 years old. It was called Poor Cow. And I know you're not legally supposed to be probably let into a movie like that, but in that era, 40 plus years ago, they didn't ask questions. We just walked in. But there's so many different movies, from foreign movies. One of the movies I like that's foreign was Burnt by the Sun.
Ooh.
And it was a movie about how Stalin, that evil bastard, got his top lieutenants, the most successful of his warriors, and personally took them from their villages and cities and had them murdered after they had given their lives in World War II. So he wouldn't have a power vacuum. And it was in subtitles, 3 hours long.
I remember that movie. It was very long. How do people find you on social media? Do you guys have a Facebook page or a Twitter account that you may know
I'm sure of all that. I don't handle any of that, so I'm absolutely clueless, and I'm sorry.
And the website one more time.
It's drinkrealwater.com.